Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on building Frank, our 460 project that we're doing. And so last time we fitted up the flywheel and ran the wires through to here, and you saw me muck around fitting up the fuel tank as well. So that was a bunch of fun. I love to make life easy. I mean, hard for myself. So check out that last video, and you can see me mucking around with the fuel tank, which is pretty fun. Anyway, if you have seen a few of my videos so far and you haven't subscribed yet, maybe think about it. We've just hit 400 subscribers today, or a few days ago, and so I'm really stoked about that. That went really quick up to 400, down from, I was like 320, and then in a few months space I moved up to 400, so it's really cool. Another 600 subscribers, guys, if you know of anyone, and we can start doing live videos again, which would be really cool. I would love to sit here, communicate with you guys, build saws, and answer questions on the fly. It would be so good. It'd be so much fun. Anyway, so keep that in mind. If you're a regular on this channel, tell your saw nut mates that they should subscribe, and we can have some live stuff. So that'd be really cool. Apart from that, there's nothing in it for me. I don't make any money from the channel. It's too little. I don't even know if I ever will bother, but it'll just be fun to communicate on the live stuff with you guys anyway. So that'll be really cool. So without further ado, we're going to get on with the back of Frank today. So what I call the back is this area down here. So we're going to look at putting in the carb, the start-stop mechanism there, the switch, the handle in here, and also put in the fuel line as well. Put that into there. So we'll see how we go with all that, and then and how far we get, how fast we get. Anyway, we'll carry on now. So basically the first part of doing this handle, we'll do this handle bit and just sort of get that out of the way. But the first part of doing that is basically seating your trigger in here. Okay, so that goes in there like that. That spring, alright, just comes off like that, and it's got a little area to fit into. Okay, see that? So it's got the hook, and that hook just swings and hooks around there like that. Okay, thought I'd show you this because it's one of those ones, unless you've done it a few times, it's a bit tricky, or can be. And then that just all slides in there, and there's a pin that you can put in, and it's just a metal pin like this, and it just shoots in there. Make sure that spring's all sitting nice in there. And then that's sit it in there now. We'll just get a shop hammer. So hammer. It's shaking. Oop. Sorry, a bit too much shaking. And that's through like that. The reason I do that is so that I'll probably hammer that in a little bit more. It's probably a little bit proud, but I won't do it on this video because it's just shaking all over the place. The next when I build my shed, I'll build a mount that's not going to shake, which will be great. It's just a little bit limited at the moment. till that shed gets built, which could be as far off as midway through 2021. But all good, we will get there. So the next part I think people find difficult with the trigger is putting in, where is it gone? Did it fall off the table? Maybe it did, yes it did. Fell off the table with all the shaking. So this is the, I forget the name of it right now, but it's a little stop that means you've got to depress this, like a dead man switch or something like that. Safety switch means you can't press that in until yeah, that stays in there like that, and then that whole lot gets the top put on it. This handle just goes in there like that, and you sort of just hold it, press it down. I touch the sides of that while holding that trigger back underneath. And that all goes in there like that. So simple as. So it stops you from starting it, press that down, and then it all starts. That's just, a lot of people don't do those. I don't know why they don't clean that area. I love cleaning saws, so I guess that's why I do that area. I'll just grab a screwdriver and it's actually a T27. You can use a slotted on it actually. Slotted. It's a little plastic screw that fits in to tie the handle down. Goes up underneath the end of it here. Yeah, but a lot of people don't take those handles off and clean them. I guess it's not necessary, I think. And people don't like the hassle of putting those things together, but once you do it a few times, it can go really easy. And I think, oh man, was it T27? No, it'll be a T25. I think they're a T25. No, it's a T20. Sorry, I just changed out from that slotted screwdriver because it's doing my head in. Yeah, it's a T20. Some of them are T27 under here. And that's just going into plastic, so just be gentle with it, don't force it. There's a nice tighten in there, will be fine. So that's basically how you do your trigger. Really easy, really simple, and that's all set to go. It's locking off. So it's got that lockout switch on there, so you've got to have your whole hand properly on the saw to activate it. And I'll punch that pin in further as well. So next thing we want to do is put the fuel line in, and that goes down in there. So the easiest thing to do is the fuel line sort of just is this, and it just pops in down through the hole there. This is going to be a lot of my hands being in the way, okay? So basically there's a hole in there for the fuel line, and just take this off, fuel cap out, and Where's my pliers? Right. So you just pop that down in there basically, and then you reach in with the pliers and start pulling it through, and it'll just come down into there quite easily. Right, you want it. It's got a flat edge. This flat edge here on the fuel line, that has to face out to the back. So you've got to make sure it's twisted in the right orientation. It is almost there. Now I'll pull these wires out of the way because they're in the way. But again, make sure it goes in the right way. Right, down like that. So you want that flat bit sitting at the back. It'll be a flat bit or an arrow or something like that on there. Right, once that's in, I just usually chuck the old vise on the side there so I can see what I'm doing. You can see that in there, the fuel line. And then, reach in there and grab it. The old pliers. There we go. Been difficult, I'll tell you that. I'm just going to reach in with a bit of wire and grab it. Usually can just get it with my pliers. Not today. Alright. So now with the pliers on it, I just pull down while I'm pushing that into there. So it's got to go over it like a little grommet. Right, I need a screwdriver for this. Let's give it a bit of a hand. Just gotta, there we go, that's a good grip on that fuel line now. You just gotta push it down into there, basically. Just a slight pressure from the bottom, as well as working this around in there. To get it sitting nice in there so it's sitting down properly. There we go, pop down then. So you sort of just got to work it around until that sort of grommet goes in there and sits all down. Right, so you can put those wires back now, and that part is done. Oh, we'll chuck the fuel filter on too. Get my wire again, hook it out. Just gonna let it go. So we don't get any, chuck the fuel filter on so we don't get any nasties going up into the carb. Man, it's been raining today, but it's got so humid now. So humid. It's back to being hot, and it's going to be a big temperature week these days, up to 29 degrees Celsius. Now, some of you probably think, oh, 29 degrees Celsius, that's not that hot. But you add the humidity we get here in the Waikato in New Zealand, and I'll tell you what, it feels a lot hotter than that, and it just zaps you of all your strength, man. People don't believe it until they come over here and try heat with humidity. It's not even hot heat, like 29 degrees is not hot, but you add that humidity in and oh boy. So that fuel thing, let's take that off. Let's just now tuck in under here. Like that. It's got a little I don't know if you can see that. See, it's got this where's my screwdriver gone? On the fuel line, it's got this little rubber grommet thing that sort of, I'll take it out, show you so you know, and it just slides into this part here. This little like a raised, it's not a grommet, it's just a raised section on the fuel tank, and you just sort of, on the fuel line, you twist it around, push it back in, and it sits just nice in there, and that'll just plug straight into your carb. Bob's your uncle. Right. Okay, we'll put this back in, we'll put this piece in now. So this is your choke function lever. And that just fell out of there. Where did you come from? Right, so it's choke lever. You got your black wire goes into this front one, and then the earth sits at the back, and that just should all slide into there. There's a little slidey hole there down the bottom, so that just slides into this section down here. And clips in there. Go. Right, and that gets a little screw with a flat head on it. It's gone. That just goes right in the side here to secure it. Just put that in there, and that holds that whole end of it in. I think we've got probably 1 or 2 more videos to do on Frank, you know, like this side, the muffler. Maybe we get to the muffler today, depending on how we're going here. But and then we'll do a running Frank cutting video, which will be cool. So that's all in there now, and that's for your throttle and all the rest of that. Okay, so that's all working to easy. So we can go ahead and plug our wires in now. to run out. There's a couple of slots that are going to be really hard for you guys to see. They're down in here, and we can run our earth wire down into there. So that sits underneath there, back into there, and then it can come around and down into there. Down onto that section. Sorry, hand's going to be in the way a bit. Come on. Oh. I've got this totally wrong. It's the earth wire that goes in. That's why they have two different sizes on them. Right, so the black one, we'll start, the black one goes at the back. I don't know why I did that. I've got two different sizes on them. I'll poke that black one back down there. Sorry, got the camera angles. I'm trying to get as much as I can of this on film for you guys, so you can kind of get the gist of it. I mean, if you're at this stage of the build anyway, you should have figured out most of this stuff. I mean, unless you're new to the game and you man, that's fiddly. Yes, put that one in. Right, push that under there. That one can go into the top slot now. Top slot for that earth. The earth can come down and around. Pays to have these wires sitting properly like I've got them, because the reason is that when you're taking your carbon out, these wires, if they're flailing around and they're not in their proper place, they can get in the way of stuff, get in the way of you putting your okay, that's down in there now. Get in the way of you putting your carbon and stuff, and so if you've got these all properly seated in these positions, so that sort of looks like that. Sorry if you couldn't see most of that, But so you run the wires there, and you've got this sort of setup going on. Okay, with the black at the back and the earth at the front. And then that choke mechanism is all set up. Too easy. So now we're pretty much in to putting our carb on and sorting all that section out. Got the so first things first, when you put your carb in, is this little ring. Okay, it looks like that. It's got indentations on the side, and that pops into there. Those indentations line up either side with these poles. So you can see that ring in there. Alright, and you slide this one on. They usually have something saying top on them. I don't know if you can see that there. But they've got a little sign saying top. And that slides down on there like that. And this helps your carb all get seated in. Next is your carb, which I've been hiding away to keep dust free. Okay, so on here you've got down the bottom, you've got your impulse line and your fuel on this side. That just slides in there, and that should, just watch it down the bottom, it should all slide in. Sometimes you need to reach in there and just adjust that impulse one a bit, but they should just all slide into place there. Alright, next we've got this. So this is your throttle linkage, and it's got this plate on it, and that'll slide in next. Alright, and you can hook that in. I just have to have a look here. That just basically hooks into your throttle there. Just twist it, and that rubber grommet pushes all the way down into there. Hold that there, and then you just depress your sorry, I'll show you it this way. So you just depress your trigger here, and move your linkage forward, and that can just be, nope, hasn't gone in quite. You just see it in there, and you just push it in to your throttle there. That's clipped in now, and you've got your throttle all working. Pretty easy. So that's all that. Now the next thing to go on is this, and that'll just slide in there. I'm just going to actually just check that I got everything. Fuel lines in, leads are in, throttle linkage is on. That's all working. Choke's working. All working. Okay, sorry, I just had to test that to make sure everything is working. Otherwise it can be awkward coming to fire up the saw and nothing's going right. Right, and that's the next thing to fit on there like that. Then we get our flange here, and that will just go into there. And finally, we've got our carb nut. So we get our special Stihl hex nut driver, or just an 8mm hex will do. Socket, whatever you got. Okay. That goes on there now. We tighten all that down. nice and good. Awesome, nice and tight. This goes on, it's got the top written on it, top, so you can't miss that. Just seats on there. Then on goes your air filter. Air filter goes on. Like that. And we can place our rear on there like that. Should just all fit on there. There we go. That's the first of our covers on Frank. For all that, it does have another rubber bit up the top here, but I haven't got that for Frank, so Frank's not getting one until I find one. I'll find one eventually and give it to Frank, but yeah. So that's that whole carb area. We're all good to go there. Boom, boom, boom. Should put the muffler on. Let's do that. Let's do that. That means we only got one more video, perhaps, until we'll do a chain brake and the whole clutch assembly, dogs and everything like that. But we can put the muffler on at least today, I think. We've definitely got time for that. So, well, that's quite far away now. Move you guys up to it, maybe. Try over there. No, that's a bit better. Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit closer, I think. Anyway, so we've got the muffler. This is, again, because it's Frank, it's bits and pieces, so we've got a highway back end here of muffler, and we have a Stihl, genuine Stihl Magnum 4.6 front end there. Now I'll just have to take these screws out because I put them in there, the little screws at the top, put them in there for safekeeping. So I didn't lose them. I could have put them in my container for the screws, I suppose. But anyway. Hope you guys are enjoying this series. I'm having lots of fun doing it. Sorry it's a bit slow. I have so much to do. It's incredible these days with living on a small block like I do. Trying to look after cows and all that sort of livestock stuff and everything like that. I've got a gasket here, and a heat shield. So goes the heat shield on there first like that, and then the gasket goes on there, and then your muffler goes on. So what I try to do is put the whole lot, sort of sandwich it all up here like that, and then put the screws in. So sort of try to line it all up, and that is definitely an exhauster. You can see how black it is from the carbon. I'll just put that down, feed that down in there. fitting it all up there. And we'll just get another one. Where's another one? That's odd. Here's my other incredibly, oh, that looks like one. Yeah, that's one. It's just a bit cleaner. Right. So those are in there now. So I just get the one that's closest to the chain, so it's brake side, and I'll just start on that first. Oh, and yes, I've got the heat shield up the wrong way, don't I? Goes like that. And I lost a screw. That's alright. Yeah. It would have worked perfectly if I didn't have the heat shield. Well, not perfectly. It's me doing it, but. Alright, that's back in there. Alright, so as I said before, I'm going to hold this all together. And just put that heat shield side in, and that's started now. And we'll right. And that started. So before you go and finish that off though, is that one? No, they're bigger. You need the two big, flippin' big, butty muffler screws, which I don't seem to have in my kit here for some reason. This is what I'm doing. I didn't plan to do the muffler, we just had enough time for it, so of course I'm looking for screws and stuff. No, it's too small. Where's the muffler screws? I did have another, I'm sure I had another box of parts or something here. Bugger. Why don't I have muffler screws? No, that's not them either. That's not cool. What did I do with the rest of those parts? I'm sure I cleaned out a whole bunch more parts and stuff like that, but where are they? They would have maybe had the muffler screw there. basically your muffler screws are the biggest, thickest ones you can find. They're quite long as well. I just don't seem to have any of them here. But the whole point is that you line up those holes down here before you tighten off this. And I am really confused as to why I don't have muffler screws. My box of bits and pieces. Because I should have them. I've found some. Oh yeah, that's them. Basically, I've got some other ones. Basically, look how fat those are compared to this. And they're long. I don't know what screw type they are, but they're flipping ginormous and big. Now the whole deal, I think I've heard, why Stihl started putting such ridiculously big screws in the bottom of their mufflers is because someone was saying, or they had repeated lots of these screws coming out, which is quite ridiculous, really. I think maybe people, and they put Loctite on the new ones as well to make sure they don't come out. I don't know why they're getting so much vibration in their mufflers, or if it was just people who didn't put their screws back properly in the first place, but they used to only be short ones, but now they're flipping gargantuan ones. Anyway, that's the way of it, isn't it? Wind that all in there. Oh, this muffler used to have a baffle on it as well, but I cut all that out, so it's only got part of the baffle on, so a bit more free flow. So those can come out now. Well, I had to muck around on something, you know, finding screws. This was it. Last time was the fuel tank. Next time will be just about there though. I've got a paper gasket in there for that that muffler gasket. And if that fails, I'll chuck a metal gasket in. Right, so that can go on now. And that's the muffler done for Frank. And Frank's looking more and more like a chainsaw. Well, one that can go anyway, hopefully. Can't wait till Frank's going. But I'm saving. I could do them during the week or something like that, you know, just do a quick jump out here and just build them. But I'm saving them for you guys, so you can watch Frank getting built, so you know how to build your own 4.6, that sort of thing. because it's a good thing to know how to build your own 4.6, you know, or any saw for that matter. Basically, if you watch this video, the way I did this, that's the way you do all the saws, Stihl saws. There's little variances in them, but hardly anything. And you know, there's a few more variances in the newer saws and stuff like that, but pretty much they're much of a muchness. They've got great engineering, so they just left it simple to do, and that's really cool. I like that about Stihl. That is so simple. And that's good for me too, because then I don't get frustrated like I do with the Husky ones that are just overly complicated. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to spoil Frank's Muffler moment with this crazy Husky talk, Husky rants that I get on. Still humid. That sun's gone away a bit now though. You guys liking the channel? Thank you so much for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying this all. So stoked that we got to 400 subscribers. 400! I never thought that anyone would be even remotely interested enough in what I'm doing here, let alone 400 people being interested. So I'm really, really stoked, honoured, all that I've made it this far on this channel, and kept it interesting enough to have people on here. Wish I could do more videos, but I have limited time. As we all do, we all seem a bit time poor these days, eh? Right. It's in. It's in. It's in. And Frank has a muffler. Pow. That is so cool. I'll check you guys back over here. Frank has a muffler. Look at him. Yeah. Look at that. He's got a carb. He's all ready to go. What have I set the carb tuning to? What have I set it to? Still got the factory markings for the carb settings on the side here. Sorry, it's just moving some stuff out of the way. So it's still got the markings here for the factory setting. So his high-low is one turn out. Okay, so if you're tuning it, come in here. Let's see, the low screw's always at the front. So, I've got it to stops. So I'll do one turn out. There. And the high is one turn out as well. Right. Which is cool. Actually, you can have that little flange in there now. That can go in there. Those wires are going away for some reason. I'll sort that out another time. I'm gonna have to open all this up now, but I will. So yeah, that is Frank, and he's starting to look pretty good for a hacked up bits and pieces chainsaw that I had in a box. I didn't really know I had until someone said to me, one of the subscribers out there, I forget his name, it was a while ago, he said, can you build a 4.6? Can you do a bolt for bolt on a 4.6? And I said, no. And then I started looking through parts and I was like, actually yes, I can do that. I do have one, so that's cool. It's gonna be cool to have a second 4.6 as well. Not that I need this many chainsaws, but you know. So we'll be back here next time, and we're going to finish off building Frank in the entirety. So we've got starter covers to go on. We've got clutch, brake handle, chain brake, and yeah, and the handle as well to go on. So all of that exciting stuff, and Frank is just about there, just about home and hosed, ready for his first pop. And I hope it's going to be a good one. I hope Frank's going to pop nicely, and going to be a hard runner. I think I've got a 25-inch bar and chain for Frank, so I'll have to sort that out and see if I've got that. And yeah, apart from that, going to be mean. Looking forward to bolting on Frank's side cover and adjusting the chain for the first time. All those cool things about a saw that I enjoy, you know, all those little details. And then run, you know, tuning, which can be frustrating sometimes, especially if you've made a mistake and the saw isn't running properly. It's got an ear leak somewhere or something like that, or the carb's not right. But yeah, it's when it pops and runs well the first time and you've done a build that really works well, it's like so satisfying. And then, you know, first cuts and stuff like that. So it'll be cool. I'll try and find something to put that 25-inch bar through, or if I can't find something that big, I can steal the 20-inch bar off my other 4.6, and we'll see how Frank runs with the 20-inch. Either way, there'll be something on there, 20 or 25-inch. Yeah, real exciting. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Remember, 600 more and we can do live, which I enjoy more than this because I can talk back and forwards. I used to do live before the attacks in Christchurch, where YouTube changed its whole thing with live streaming. So now you have to have 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, let's get there. Let's do 1,000. I don't want any more than that, really. Just do 1,000 and we can do live stuff, which is heaps cooler. I love the interaction. Does distract me a bit, and I probably don't need that, but it's still fun. Alright guys, Stihl for life. We'll catch you on the next one. Frank's 5th and final one, I think it was, or 6th and final one of those. Frank's final build. Have a good one. Stihl for life. See you.